I was falling. A scream escaped my throat. My life flashed before my eyes. You must be wondering how I got here. Trust me, I'm asking myself the same. My name is Ivy. I'm from Maine. Like and subscribe for good luck. I was born to parents who owned a circus, and we loved everything about it.
Daddy, I want to be in the circus too. Please, please, please.
You will one day, and I know you'll be the star of the show.
You really think so?
Honey, we know so. Now it's time for your lesson. Take out your books. Let's see who wins today. Mom homeschooled me and my twin brother, and we'd often compete to see who got the best test score, which was me, of course. I was a bright kid, but my heart truly belonged to the circus. So when I turned 8 and Dad told me I could finally join him on the team, I was ecstatic. But my excitement turned to shock when he said I'd have to be a clown.
That's so embarrassing. I want to be a contortionist. I've been practicing.
But we need a clown, and you'll be able to make everyone laugh. You'll do great, honey. Trust me. I decided to give it a shot, and it wasn't so bad. But then I put my own spin to it. I did a backflip, landing in a perfect contortionist's pose. After that day, being a contortionist clown became my thing, and I became the circus's star performer. Life was perfect, but then I turned 15 and everything changed. I was performing on stage one day when the whole area burst into flames. People running, things falling. It was bad. Just as I was running away from the burning tent, I heard a woman scream. So I ran back to help her, and we stumbled out, gasping for air. I so wanna... Thank me? It's no problem. I'm happy you're safe. Huh? I wanna sue this circus. I'll make sure you never get to perform again. You have no safety measures at all. The woman was true to her word, and my parents ended up losing the lawsuit. They had to work and didn't have time to homeschool us anymore. When I stepped foot in school for the first time, I instantly knew I was a misfit. People stared at me for the way I dressed, and in class, they were blown away by how intelligent I was. Years of being in competition with my brother in studies had paid off. The answer can be found using a Diophantine equation, sometimes known as the sum of cubes problem. Actually, it's Eastern Antarctica that's the coldest, not the whole of Antarctica. Every time the teacher would say I was right, the kids would have a problem with it, but I didn't care. I was having too much fun studying. I became the top student in no time. Life was fine, except Mom and Dad were always short on cash. So during the 11th grade summer break, my brother and I picked up part-time jobs at the hotel. With our first salaries, we took Mom and Dad to a carnival, and I could see how much they missed their old life. I wish I could find a way to bring my parents' circus back. I was in luck because the very next day, I saw a poster in the hotel lobby asking for auditions for a talent competition. But seeing me in my barista uniform at the auditions, I could tell that the judges weren't impressed. These auditions are for the greatest talent, not someone who can make coffee the fastest. Please, don't waste a... Before he could finish, I did a killer backflip and a split that made them stand up in their seats. And just like that, I was in. I ran outside excitedly to tell my brother, when I saw a guy holding him by the collar. Who's gonna pay for this scratch? Oh, that's right. You don't have the money. I'm gonna ruin you. He was about to punch my brother when I stepped in between and pushed the jerk hard. Let my brother go, you moron. Sorry to scratch your precious little junk, but I'm sure you can afford to get that fixed. Feisty, are we? Do you have any idea who I am? Does it look like I care? Now, do as I say or I'll call the cops. Oh, I'm shaking in my boots. I mean it. Let him go. I stared right into his eyes as the guy smirked before letting my brother go. I guess he was powerful because that evening, both me and my brother got fired. I was sad, but soon the summer break was over and we were back in school. But something had changed. It was like people had started hating me more than before. What had I done to grind their gears now? I found out soon enough that one of the girls in my class showed me a video of me pushing that rich guy outside the hotel. How could you be dumb enough to push Tristan? Yeah, he deserved it. And what's the big deal about him anyway? Don't you use social media? Not really. I like to read books instead. It teaches you a lot, like minding your own business and learning some manners. Now, if you can step aside, I have a class to get to. The rest of the day, I ignored all the angry stares. Later, I found out that he was some kind of social media influencer with over 10 million followers. Good for him. I thought this whole video thing would die down in a few days, but to my horror, it was worse than I could imagine. I was a public figure now, with all eyes on me, especially because Tristan followed me everywhere. I picked up a new job at a cafe nearby, and Tristan would drop in every day. I'd had it with his stupid face.
so I decided to teach him a lesson and poured a bottle full of salt in his food. His face went red as he took one bite. Do you like it, sir? Anything to go with it, like water or maybe some more salt?
This is perfect. Can you tell me who the chef is? I'd love to kiss their hands.
She's busy. Anyway, if you're done for the day, kindly leave. You're catching too much attention and it's a little annoying.
I'm guessing you're talking about all those ladies by the window. I can tell them to leave, if you agree to go out on a date with me.
Are you bored or simply crazy? What makes you think I'll ever go on a date with a moron like you?
Ouch, that hurt. But I deserve it. I was a jerk. It's just that I had a big argument with my mom and I took all the anger out on you, which was totally not cool.
Yeah, it wasn't. And you're really not helping your case by stalking me.
I know, but I can't get you off my mind after I saw how you stood up for your brother. That takes courage. All I'm asking for is one chance. If you feel like you don't want to see me after that, I won't bother you again.
Tristan, I don't care. Just leave. But the guy just didn't back down. He'd show up every day at my workplace to ask me out, and every day, I refused. And one evening, after my shift ended, I found him outside my workplace with my brother. Later, he told me how Tristan was there to apologize, and even offered to get him his job back.
That was kind of nice of him.
I guess he wasn't all that bad. So when he asked me out again, I decided to give it a shot. I was expecting him to show off and take me to some fancy restaurant in the city, but instead, he took me to my favorite taco place.
Wow, you're cheap for someone so rich. And you're too pretty for someone that tough.
Anyway, what were you doing at the hotel that day? You know, when you hit my brother?
You won't let that go, will you? I was there for an audition.
Wait, for the competition? I'm in it too.
I didn't know making good coffee was also counted as a talent.
Ha ha, very funny. Just then, I showed Tristan a few basic contortion moves, and he was blown. Then he showed me his awesome tricks with cards, and I was really impressed. Wow, how did you do that?
That's amazing. I wish my family would feel the same. They think I'll end up making a fool of myself on the show.
When we do things that give us joy, it doesn't really matter what people think. Tristan and I went on multiple dates after that, and soon he asked me out officially. My brother was happy, but the girls at school just weren't digging it. I didn't care. With Tristan by my side, I felt like a whole new person. He was so much gentler and calmer than when I first met him, and it made me super happy. And then one day on his birthday, he invited me to his home for a party. I'd just stepped one foot inside when suddenly my whole world came crashing down.
Ivy, that's my mom. And Mom, that's
the clown? What is this circus freak doing here? You said you were bringing your girlfriend home. If you think I'm a freak, you should see yourself in the mirror.
Guys, what's going on? You know each other?
Your mom is the reason my family is struggling. She sued my parents and bled us dry. I hate her. And I would do it all over again in the blink of an eye if I saw you around my son. You think I'm the same stupid girl who saved you that day? If you come close to my family, I'll be your worst nightmare. I wanted to say more, but I was too shocked and upset, so I just turned around and left. Tristan tried his best to reach out to me, but I just didn't want to talk to him. If he was her son, then there was no chance of us ever being together. Soon, it was time for the competition, so I forgot about my issues and started practicing. The competition lasted for days, and I was able to reach the finals. People rooted for me, and I was confident I'd win it too. But on the last day, I twisted my ankle and lost to a really amazing musician. I was devastated and locked myself up at home. I just didn't have the strength to talk to anyone. Then one day, Mom and Dad sat down next to me.
A dumb competition can't dampen your spirits, Ivy. You're too good for that.
But I wanted the money. I needed it to get the circus back. I know you guys miss it. I just wanted to make you happy.
That's not your job.
And we're happy as long as you are.
Now come on, we need you to get out of the house.
How about some ice cream? Or a trip to the petting zoo?
Anything you say.
After talking to Mom and Dad, I felt a lot better. But there was something that still troubled me a lot. Tristan and his mom. I had been ignoring them for the past few weeks. But he was back to being his stalker self, and it was super annoying. Then one day at home, I was busy watching an MSA video when my dad told me I had a friend waiting for me downstairs. And of course, it was Tristan. What do you want?
I know you don't want to see me, but Ivy, you have to know this. My stepmom...
Hold on, stepmom?
Yeah, Mom left us when I was a baby, and Dad married her so I would never miss Mom.
So, did that help?
What? No. You're missing the point. After you left, I did a little digging and realized that your parents aren't the only one Mom has wrongfully sued. She does it often to scam people for money.
Tristan went on to explain how his stepmom was a lawyer and sued people for damages they couldn't afford.
Once you get stuck in the whole thing, she makes sure that she gets the most money out of you by creating fake issues, like the fire at your circus. She started that.
How do you know she started a fire, and why are you telling me this?
I heard her talking to her assistant yesterday. I guess when she saw you, she felt threatened and started planning another lawsuit so you wouldn't get in her way.
I don't know what to say. Even if what you're saying is true, how will anyone believe us without proper evidence?
I'm her son, so if I give a statement, maybe the police can start an investigation. It'll be worth a shot.
Tristan was right. I had to try something to make his stepmom pay, so I went with him and filed an official complaint. It took some weeks, but finally, the police were able to gather all the evidence against Tristan's stepmom. They froze her account, but before they could arrest her, she simply vanished. My parents won huge compensation from the court and used that to build the circus. I was so happy, and I only had Tristan to thank for everything. I always liked him, but this only made me fall for him more. We were walking over the bridge one day, when suddenly Tristan turned to face me.
Ivy, I love you. I'm sorry, I tried to let you go, but I can't.
I wanted to tell you, but before I could complete my sentence, someone pulled me hard. Tristan's stepmom.
You witch! You ruined everything I had built! You'll pay for this!
Saying that, the woman pushed me. As I backed up, I tripped and ended up falling. Okay, so here we are, right where we started. I thought I was done for, but Tristan grabbed my arm and pulled me right back up.
Are you crazy? She could have gotten hurt.
Oh, yeah, whatever. She's fine, right? And that was a mistake.
Was it? You know, I can imagine you being a witch to everyone, but this is unacceptable. Leave, or I'll have you arrested. Dad knows what you've been up to.
Oh, come on. I'm your mom, Tristan. You can't turn me in. Now be a doll and give me some money.
What? You won't get anything from me, okay?
You brat. I will. Just stop it, okay? Haven't you done enough? The least you can do is save your face and leave. His mom left, and we never saw her again. My parents' circus is now bigger and better than ever. I was supposed to be the star of the show, but a magician with incredible card tricks has stolen the spotlight and my heart. Hi, I'm Sally, and I figured out 2 things very early in life. 1, my older sister Rachel is dumb. And 2, she really hates me. Rachel is a year older than me, but it didn't take me too long to catch up with her. I was talking before she did, and I learned how to read while she was still struggling with the alphabet. My parents loved showing me off, and I think it really bothered Rachel. Sweetie, why don't you recite the poems you learned for our guests?
Sally, tell your aunt the cool thing that you read in your encyclopedia yesterday.
Just then, Rachel came running, wearing her bathing suit over her clothes.
Look at me! I look like a mermaid in my baby soup.
Your what?
My baby soup. Mom, baby soup, this? Oh, you don't understand anything I say. Oh, just help me take it off. It's stuck in my limbo. I think she's saying her bathing suit is stuck in her elbow, Mom.
Oh, I see. Sally, you're so bright. Silly Rachel. Did I mention that I sometimes taught Rachel the wrong words because it was funny when she sounded stupid? Yeah, I'm not very proud of that now, but that's not the only reason she hated me. I was the only one in my family with red hair, and my parents loved it, especially Mom, who would do all sorts of hairstyles. Sally, your hair looks so magical. Let's try braids today.
You know why it looks magical? Because she's a leopard clown.
You mean a leprechaun? She told me all the time that my parents pretended to like my red hair so I wouldn't feel bad.
When you were born, Mom and Dad cried tears of ugliness for days. They even tried to give you up for adoption, but no one wanted you.
And one time, she even tried to chop my hair off. And things got worse when in 8th grade, she failed a class and ended up being with me. As if our parents weren't enough, our history teacher, Miss Sheldon, loved comparing her to me in front of everyone. Your assignment is just appalling, Rachel. Did you see your sisters?
Magnifique.
Why can't you be more like her? Didn't you do any research?
What's there to research? Someone ugly said something dumb to someone boring a long time ago, and then some lame war broke out.
Who cares about this stuff? A person who wants to have an educated mind? Who cares what's on the inside when the package is this pretty? Looks are not important. That's ugly people talk. Did your boyfriend ever say that? Oh wait, I bet you've never had one. Detention, now. The next day before history class, I saw Rachel putting a mug of coffee on Miss Sheldon's table while everyone else was snickering. I was instantly suspicious. Rachel, what are you up to? What? I'm just trying to make up for my behavior yesterday. What did you put in there? Oh, I don't know. Maybe some spit, maybe some laxative, maybe both? Who can say? Just then, Miss Sheldon walked in, and Rachel handed her the mug sweetly with an apology, but I tried taking it away from her. I really don't think you should have that. Why? I just don't think it's a good idea. Why? Is there something in the coffee, Sally? Tell me now. No, I just don't think you need to drink coffee. It gives you really bad breath. Give that to me, please. I ended up spilling the whole thing on her white coat. Oh my god, you dumb butt kisser, you ruined my whole plan! The next thing I knew, I was in detention too, with Rachel, for the very first time in my life. But suddenly, Rachel was frickin' popular. No one liked Miss Sheldon much, and everyone thought Rachel was super cool for trying to mess with her. And now, she was used to her newfound power to turn everyone against me. She was the beautiful, fun blonde, and I was the red-haired, nerdy sister being called things like Carrot Top and Ketchup Head. Boy, could girls be mean. Eventually, the teasing got old. Or, I just learned to ignore it. But soon, I was given an assignment in history class to do a presentation on Scotland. The more I studied, the happier I felt. There were so many cool red-headed Scots, and I definitely felt better about my hair. Before class, I went to the bathroom to change into a kilt I had spent hours making myself just for the presentation. But just then, my sister walked in. She pulled out her phone and started taking pictures. Going back home, leprechaun? Buzz off, Rachel. You look so stupid. What is that, a schoolgirl skirt? It's a kilt. Get out of my way. You can't leave yet. Leprechauns can't travel without a rainbow. With that, she pulled out some paints from her backpack and squirted them all over my outfit. I ran out of the bathroom crying angry tears. Rachel did get detention, but it was her millionth time and she didn't give a hoot. The next year, I got a fresh start. Our dad had gotten a new job across the state, which meant I was going to be going to a new high school. I was determined to end the teasing that my red hair gave me. Hey, Mom, now that I'm 16, I think I should get to make some choices about my hair. I'd like to change the color. But your hair is beautiful, sweetie. I know you like it, Mom, but I just want to try something a little more mature, you know? I guess, if that's what you want. You're growing up so fast. Thanks, Mom. I ran straight to the store and bought a box of black hair dye, and it worked. My hair was dark and silky, no more red. Do you think that'll fool anyone? You can't cover up what you are, little leprechaun. Whatever, Rachel. Don't you have something stupid to do? Go away. Just saying. The truth always comes out. The first day of school was like a dream come true. No one said anything about my hair. I blended right in and even got a few compliments on my cute outfit, which I'd added some accessories to myself. Rachel was right back in with the cheerleaders, but this was the first time she and I were in a co-ed school, and being around boys was making her even dumber. The football captain and I went out last night, but he never called or texted me back. I don't get it. I think he was even hiding from me in school. Okay, how did the date go? It was amazing, like we were meant to be. There was just one awkward moment when this weird girl came to our table and started flirting with him, and I bit her hand really hard. I'm sure she got the message that he's not interested in her. He was just too nice to say it. You scared him off, you psycho! How about you don't act like a jealous, blood-sucking vampire next time? But she continued her serial dating and getting heartbroken, and I was getting sick of her stories. It's not like she took my advice. Other than that, school was going great. I was doing well in my classes and had even joined the drama club as a costume designer. A play was being held soon, but the main actor fell ill right before the performance. I had to make sure his understudy fit in the costume, but I didn't even recognize him. I ran frantically through the dressing room shouting, "Hey, is there anyone named Skylar here?" Yeah, that's me. Okay, I need you to take off your clothes right now. He grinned and I blushed as people around us started laughing. I didn't. Okay, wait, let me start over. You need to try this on right now, and I have to make sure this fits you. I'm the costume person, not a pervert. I know. I've seen you around. Sally, right? I'll just change into this and be right back. This Skylar was freaking cute. And he knew my name? His shirt was missing a button, and my heart was skipping beats as I stitched it on. There, you're all set. Thanks, Sally.
Wish me luck.
Break your legs. I mean, a leg. Only one. Single. Just a figure of speech anyway. Ugh. Gosh, I sounded dumber than Rachel. So I was quite surprised when Skylar came and sat next to me at recess the next day. He was funny and sweet, and I was having a great time talking to him.
By the way, I'm part of the student council, and currently we're deciding on a theme for the homecoming dance. Any ideas? I can never think of anything other than sports themes.
If you like sports, maybe you could do the Scottish Highland Games.
Wow, I love Scottish stuff. This is a really good idea. Thanks, Sally.
Just then, Rachel dropped her butt right next to him. Mind if I join your table? I'm Rachel, Sally's sister.
Don't mind at all.
Also, I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. Homecoming is all about the football games. We should totally do a varsity theme. I'll wear my cheerleading outfit. It'll be so cool. I was fuming. I couldn't believe she was butting herself into this too. Didn't she have enough guys to date? She just couldn't let me be happy. I spent the rest of lunch just sitting there and listening to them talk about school sports. A couple of weeks passed and neither Skylar nor Rachel talked to me, but I was busy with my studies and my friends, and I was happy for a change. I wasn't going to be bothered by some guy I barely knew. But then one day, Skylar stopped me in the hall on the way to class.
Hey, Sally, wait up. Sorry, I haven't been around much. I've been super busy getting everything ready for homecoming week.
Oh, yeah, it's whatever. I've been really busy too.
Well, I hope you're not too busy to maybe go to the dance with me. I mean, if you aren't going with anyone else.
The dance? With you? I'd love to.
Great, I'll meet you there.
I couldn't believe it. No teasing, new friends, and even a date to homecoming? I was practically skipping everywhere the rest of the day until I got home. Word around school is that Skylar asked you to homecoming. Yeah, and, well, I'm here to tell you that he isn't going with you. He is going with me.
Says who?
Says this. She held up her phone and showed me the picture she had taken of me in a kilt with my bright red hair. Hey, get rid of that. Tell him you can't go with him, or I show this picture to the entire school. No, don't you dare. It's up to you. Fine. I didn't want to go to that stupid dance anyway. The next day at school, I told Skylar I wasn't going to go to the dance with him. He tried to change my mind, but there was no way I was going to let him see that picture of me. He looked a bit hurt, and I felt awful, but I didn't have a choice. The night of the dance, I tried to stay home, but the thought of Rachel laughing and having fun with Skylar made me feel like I might explode. I quickly got ready, then sped my car to the dance. I burst through the doors and saw Rachel dancing, surrounded by her friends. But I didn't see Skylar anywhere. Just then, there was a hand on my shoulder.
Sally, I thought you couldn't make it.
Yeah, me too, 'cause I was scared.
Scared of what?
Of you finding out the truth? Rachel was beside us with her phone in her hand. Within a few seconds, everyone's phones were going off, including Skylar's. He pulled it out of his pocket and opened a message. And there was that picture of me. She had sent it to everyone.
Wait, is that you, Sally?
You know what? Yeah, that is me. I dyed my hair black, but it's actually red as a tomato. And if you hate it, then you're all just shallow, stupid...
Hate it? I love it.
What? What?
Sally, you're cool the way you are. So are you. May I have this dance?
You may. Just give me 1 second, though. Listen, you bimbo. I kept putting up with you and making excuses for your behavior, but I've had enough. You tried your best to humiliate me, but it was an epic failure. So, in your face. Now, please, get a life and act less desperate, and I'm sure you'll be able to land a boyfriend with the same IQ as you. Just leave me alone, okay? That weekend, I took the dye out of my hair, and Rachel dyed hers red, but it wasn't real, not like mine. I was beautifully redheaded and very happy to be me. Hi, I'm Genevieve from North Carolina, and I have a great story to tell you about my best friend. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe. Ever since we were little, my best friend Olivia and I have been inseparable. We were more like sisters than friends, spending all our time at each other's houses. It was when we were 10 years old that the story really began, although it would take us years to really understand how the pieces fit together. We were playing in my room one day, and when Olivia went to the kitchen to get some water, I thought it would be funny to jump out and scare her when she came back. So I hid behind my door, and when I heard her coming, ah! She screamed and I laughed. And then I saw the glass of water fall. Olivia! She collapsed beside the puddle on the floor. At the hospital, we learned that she had a rare heart condition. There in the hospital, I vowed to never let anything hurt her again. Don't worry, sis. I will protect you. Always. We went to the same schools growing up, and by high school, she had become incredibly beautiful. Yet there was always something fragile about her, breakable. It caused her to be shy, more reserved, rarely speaking up for herself. So I did it for her. When she collapsed sophomore year in gym class, I carried her to the nurse's office. When a group of mean girls decided she would be an easy target, I protected her. Even in my room studying, I was always watching over her, making sure she would be okay. I still had that picture in my mind of that water glass falling. Although many years had passed, I had never really forgiven myself for that day. And then, the summer before our senior year, we got the best news. Olivia was eligible for an experimental heart treatment program, one that gave her a real chance at finally having a normal life. I ran over to her house to celebrate with her, but when I found her in her room, she didn't seem excited at all. She was lying on her bed, staring at the ceiling. Shouldn't you be packing? It's in California, Genevieve, and I have to stay there for 6 months. I'll miss almost all of senior year, but it's so worth it. It's not guaranteed. They said 50% success rate. That's better than 0, right? Right. What's going on, Olivia? There's something else. She looked at me, then, with this faraway gaze in her eyes, do you believe in love at first sight? Sure, I guess. But what does that have to do with your treatment? I met someone, Genevieve, and I think he could be the one. She started to tell me about earlier that day when her parents took her to her favorite cafe to celebrate. There was a new boy working there, and when their eyes met, I felt this wave rush over me. I had to look away to keep my heart from racing. She noticed that he was paying special attention to their table. At the end of the meal, she decided to finally do something bold and told her parents she would walk home, that she wanted to enjoy some time to herself before packing. That's when he came over and sat across the table. Genevieve, it was unlike anything I have ever experienced in my life. He just moved here with his mom and he was working during the summer before school starts. And he's going to our school. That's great, Olivia. You don't understand. I was so caught up in the moment that I never even told him my name, never exchanged numbers. I got all the way home before I realized. All I remember is his name tag, Marcus, and now I have to leave, and it's all happening too fast. It's okay. It'll be okay. We can figure this out together. But you have to go to California. Will you do something for me? Of course, anything. Will you find him at school? Get to know him. Tell me everything. So when you come back, it'll be perfect. Olivia left for California, and soon it was time to start school again. I wanted to learn more about Olivia's crush, but deep down, I was most excited because I was taking a film class as my senior elective. Ever since my parents bought me that camcorder for my 11th birthday, I was always thinking about movies, writing scripts, filming interesting things that I saw, and interviewing my friends. Now, I finally got to learn the techniques in the craft in a class that only seniors could apply to get into. As a bonus, it was the last class of the day. I was listening to my teacher lecture about scene composition when I heard a whisper beside me. Hey, yes? My friend and I already have a short movie planned out, and we need a girl lead. Want to join? I'm more of a director. Please? If you quit talking to me, then fine. Great. A few minutes later, he was back again. Hey. What? My name's Jacob. Great. What's yours? I finally took a moment to turn and look at him. And when I did, well, maybe Olivia was right about love. He was impossibly handsome. Dark brown hair, emerald eyes that pulled me in, like I was being truly seen for the first time. Genevieve. He smiled at me, and I forgot the rest of the lecture. After class, he waited for me outside and introduced me to his friend. This is Marcus. I could see why Olivia would fall for him. He was tall and confident, and when he smiled, I found myself smiling. He had a way of putting people at ease, as I would discover, a calming presence that would be perfect for Olivia. That semester, the three of us went everywhere together. At first, it was just to work on our film project. But even after we finished the first movie, we would eat lunch in the cafeteria, hang out after school, study together, and the whole time, I was learning everything I could about Marcus. At night, I would go home and send messages to Olivia, describing him and how perfect they would be together. And of course, telling her how much I missed her. I didn't tell her about Jacob. At the time, I wasn't sure what to say. She was pretty weak from the treatment at first, but soon she began to recover. It seemed as though the treatment was going to be a success after all. Before I knew it, she was talking about getting ready to come home. She told me the good news over the phone. I'll be home just in time for winter break. There is so much we have to discuss. I guess I shouldn't have been so surprised when the day before winter break, Jacob stopped me after school. So, how long have you been in love with Marcus? Excuse me?
You think I don't notice the way you talk to him? The other day, you asked him to describe his perfect date night, and I could have sworn I saw you scribbling it down in your notebook, pretending you were doing the science homework.
What can I say? I take an interest in other people. It makes me a better filmmaker.
Why don't you ask me those questions then?
Fine. What's your perfect date night?
Why don't I show you?
That Friday night, Jacob met me in the small cafe downtown for dinner. It was incredible to see him all dressed up, and as we sat together in the warm cafe, safe from the dark and cold night outside, I realized that even though he seemed confident and charming, he was nervous. He talked a lot more than usual, and his words ran together all in a breath.
I love coming here. It belongs to Marcus and his family, and so I come here all the time, and I hope you like it too, but if you don't, then we can probably just find another place. It's just that you said to describe the perfect date, and I saw this place in my mind, and even last summer I used to…
Jacob,
Yes?
you don't have to be nervous around me.
Nervous? Who's nervous?
I like you.
Really? Because every time you talk, it's about Marcus.
We aren't talking about him now, are we? He smiled that perfect, gorgeous smile.
No, we're not.
After dinner, he walked me home, wrapping his arm around me to keep me warm. I could have lived in that moment forever. With the soft glow of the streetlights and the quiet homes, we reached my house and stood on the porch. I had a wonderful time, Jacob. And about Marcus, there is something I need to tell you.
First, I need to tell you something. I am falling for you, Genevieve. I have fallen for you. The truth is, we could have gone anywhere, and it would have been the perfect date. All I needed was you.
He pulled me in and kissed me. We didn't even hear the front door open. Surprise! I couldn't believe it. There she was, home again. My best friend. I cried and reached out my arms. Olivia, I can't believe you're here. But that's when I noticed she was staring at Jacob and then at me. Her arms dropped. What is this? Oh, of course, this is… But before I could get the words out, Jacob spoke first.
It's you.
It's me.
I never thought I would see you again.
Clearly. Wait, do you know each other? Come on, Genevieve. Don't treat me like I'm stupid. I ask you to get to know Marcus and then you go and date him?
Marcus? I can explain. That day in the cafe, I was new on the job. I didn't have my uniform yet. Marcus let me borrow his.
So you're not…
I'm Jacob.
And now you two… Olivia, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. It's fine. But she didn't finish her thought. She suddenly burst into tears and ran from my house.
I'm sorry. I should have told you. I wanted to.
I need to go. The winter break and spring semester were a blur. I didn't know what to say to Jacob anymore. Everything seemed to have gone so wrong. Without meaning to, I had hurt my best friend again. She didn't return to school in the spring, and her parents said that it would be best if she completed high school at home while she was still recovering. I stopped by so many times after school to check on her, but each time her mother answered the door telling me that Olivia wasn't up to seeing visitors today. That's what I had become, a visitor, a stranger in her home. Walking away, I looked at her second-story bedroom window and saw the curtain slowly close. I buried myself in my work, getting good grades and even getting accepted into film school after I graduated. I learned that Jacob would be going to the same school, but things were not the same between us. We hardly spoke and mostly kept our distance. Then, it was summer again. One day, there was a knock at my door. To my complete astonishment, it was Olivia. I am so sorry, Olivia. No, this time, I need to apologize. That day, she told me everything. About the treatment program, about her recovery, about how it felt to see me together with Jacob. She felt abandoned and alone, like her life had stopped moving after she returned to California, but everyone else's had kept going. But then she started taking walks in the evening, always going the same way, always stopping by the cafe, half hoping and half dreading that she would run into Jacob. That's when I met Marcus, the real Marcus. They had started talking every night. She realized that although she had shared a perfect night with Jacob, it was Marcus that she was falling for. Everything I had told her about him and all the conversations they had, they just fit together perfectly. Maybe it wasn't love at first sight, but I believe now that there are so many different ways to fall in love. It's not always going to be like the movies. So, you don't hate me? Of course I don't hate you. I was angry with you. And then I needed to spend some time away from you. Not because I hate you, but because I had to learn how to live with myself, how to stand up for what I want. Our whole lives, you have been there for me, and I love you for that. But I can't ask you to do that forever. It's not fair to either of us. She was right, and for the first time, she didn't seem fragile to me, breakable. She was strong and confident and at peace. I went away to film school and reconnected with Jacob, and Olivia and Marcus stayed close to home and attended the local university, meeting up at the cafe every night to study and talk. After college, she was the maid of honor at my wedding, and I was at hers when she and Marcus said I do. It was a long road, but Olivia got the ending she deserves, and the perfect man to take care of her beautiful, unbreakable heart. And as for Jacob and me, our story was always a love story. And even though we are older now and our 2 kids have left the house to start lives of their own, we continue to add new chapters, new scenes, to the best movie we could have possibly made. Hi, I'm Julia from New York City. Please like and subscribe to MSA. Ever since I can remember, I've never had a day of peace in my life thanks to my older twin sisters, Tina and Sophia. They were 10 years older, famous models just like my mom, and they loved annoying me. On my 6th birthday, Mom gave me a pet piglet, but it went missing a few weeks later on Thanksgiving. I was devastated as I sat down for dinner that night. Julie, you see that turkey? That's your piggy.
What?
Yeah, Mom said they ran out of turkey, so she cooked your piggy instead.
You're lying! No!
I started bawling like a baby till Mom rescued my pet from my sister's closet. They were grounded, but the memory haunted me for years. I could never enjoy another Thanksgiving. Things just got weirder as we grew older. Tina and Sophia got more famous, and I became their geeky little sister with a thing for science and sugar. By 13, I weighed twice the kids my age. One time, Mom invited a French photographer to take family portraits.
Wow, Tina, that is a beautiful pose. Sophie, yes. Hold that. Juicy, juicy.
Julie.
Whatever. Pull in your tummy while you smile. A little more. More. Okay, now smile. Press it, smile.
I was trying when Tina tickled me a little, and I let out a huge fart.
Oh my God, Julie! You stink up the place! You baby cow!
When the photos came out, I was so red, it looked like someone had slapped me 20 times. So embarrassing. I exercised and lost most of the extra weight, but my sisters never let me forget that incident. Worse, kids in my school constantly questioned me about my famous sisters, and I hated that. My older brother says that Tina bathes in milk. That's why she's so pretty. And Sophia brushes her hair with a comb made of feathers.
Tell us, please. Is all this true?
I got so annoyed, I jumped on one of them and pulled her hair. Tina's breath stinks and so do her clothes. And Sophia brushed her hair last winter. It's all makeup, you moron. Now leave me alone. Turns out it was our teacher's daughter, and my stunt landed me in detention. But I didn't care as long as I got some peace. So, yeah, life wasn't great. But it wasn't all bad either. I was at the top of my class, and at 17, I even landed a prestigious summer internship at the Natural History Museum. On my first day, I got up an hour early to get ready and reached the museum before my time. But the place was massive, and I got totally lost. Suddenly, I heard a voice behind me.
Are you the new intern?
Yeah, I'm Julie. Pleased to meet you.
Late. You're late. You were supposed to report to me 15 minutes ago.
Before I could even apologize, the boy started walking away.
I'm Pierre, your supervisor, boss, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so tell me, why is the sky blue? Too slow. How do airplanes fly? How old is the Earth? Do you know anything besides makeup?
4.543 billion years.
What?
You asked me how old the Earth is? I know my science, okay? But I guess you don't know how to talk to people. Maybe learn that first.
You're right. I'm sorry. I had a tough morning and I took it out on you. How about we start again? Hi, I'm Pierre, and it's nice to meet you.
Over the next few days, Pierre and I hung out a lot. He was my age, the son of a diplomat, and he'd only recently moved to New York. He was also really smart, and we'd often spend hours discussing science stuff. Slowly, I even started liking him a little. One day, I was cleaning up a fossil when my shirt got caught and ripped. Pierre rushed to my side and gave his shirt to me.
You're bleeding.
Huh? Oh no. Dang it. Pierre hurried back with first aid, and as he was tending to me, I couldn't stop staring at how perfect he was.
There, all done.
Thanks. I feel much better. Much better. Oh, God. You must think I'm crazy.
Nope. I think you're cute. And also, I think you should go out on a date with me.
Really? You do? The next day, Pierre took me out to the most amazing restaurant, and we had the best time ever. Soon after, we started dating officially, and things were perfect. That was until one night. Pierre and I were closing the museum, and my sisters stormed in with some friends and started messing around with the museum artifacts. What are you guys doing here? You're always working, so we thought you could use some fun. Oh,
Are you the guy she keeps texting? Dude, she makes the funniest faces when she's on the phone. Like she wants to poop, but can't. Let me show you.
can you stop embarrassing me and go to a club or something? Where's the fun in that? My sisters and their friends just ignored me as they went around taking selfies. But then, the museum security heard the noise and chased them away. I was given an earful, but at least the situation was under control and nothing was damaged. But the next morning, I spotted Tina wearing a dinosaur tooth around her neck. Oh my god, Tina! You're not supposed to take that! It's worth $40,000! Why would a rotten old tooth cost this much? Here, you can have it. I immediately wanted to leave for the museum to put the tooth back before someone noticed, but just then, the police knocked on my door. Apparently, the museum staff had seen the CCTV footage, and my sister had already been caught on tape. The twins would have been arrested for stealing, but I called Pierre and asked if his dad could help. He told me once his dad was on the museum board of directors, so I had to take a shot.
He saw the video footage too, and he's really mad.
I know it's a huge favor, but I'm asking, please, if you could just help me out this one time. I'll even apologize in person.
Actually, there's this fundraiser that he wants me to attend. Maybe you can come along too and talk to him.
Giving me wings.